Fair use. It's a term that's typically thrown around in defense of using copyrighted works without permission. But what is it exactly? How does it apply to music, and will it protect you if you use copyrighted music in your videos? The short answer is no. When it comes to music, there are very few situations in which an unlicensed use of a copyrighted work can be considered fair use. The slightly longer answer is that it's not quite as simple as that, since there are exceptions in which fair use may apply to you, but there are also many situations in which you don't actually need it anyway. So what is fair use, and how does it work? In the United States, fair use is a legal doctrine codified in the 1976 Copyright Act that permits limited use of copyrighted works without permission in certain circumstances. Similar exceptions exist in the United Kingdom and in civil law legal systems around the world. In simple terms, fair use is the defense of the use of copyrighted works for certain purposes, where typical exemptions include criticism and commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research purposes. In the United Kingdom, there are also specific exceptions for the purpose of disabled accessibility and time shifting, which is just a fancy way of saying that it's okay to record something now so that you can watch it later. However, it's not quite as simple as just picking an exception category and claiming that it's fair use. In America, 4 main factors are considered in determining if a particular use is fair, including the purpose of the use, such as if it's transformative, meaning new and different or a blatant reproduction, the nature of the use, such as if it's fictional or factual, how much of the original work has been used, and the effect of that use on the market. Likewise, in the UK, the common fair use exceptions are further subject to the requirements of sufficient acknowledgement and fair dealing, which is a broad term to describe if the use is fair and reasonable in the context of the market and the copyright holder. One example of these additional factors in practice is news reporting, where a news outlet can't just use a copyrighted photo or reprint an entire article and claim that it's okay under fair use. Without significant commentary, the content is not transformative and may damage the rights holder, particularly if it's another publication. However, a review of a book, for example, that provides significant standalone value, with small amounts of copyrighted content in the form of quotes or a shot of the book's cover, is more likely to meet the conditions of fair use. But how does any of this apply to music? In cases where music is not the focus of the work, such as an analysis of a song or a review of an album, in which it might be reasonable to play excerpts of the music in order to comment on it, there are very few situations in which music can be considered fair use. For example, reposting songs or adding them to your content as background music is not transformative. Even covering a song, which you might assume to be transformative, isn't typically allowed under fair use, since doing so reproduces a large body of the work. An exception to this is parody, which typically is defensible under fair use. Parody usually requires reproducing the work to an extent that it is recognisable, but in a highly transformative way that doesn't damage the copyright holder. However, even then, Weird Al Yankovic, who is known for parody covers of popular music, reportedly still asks for permission first, which is typically how most seemingly unlicensed uses of music actually work, such as on YouTube, for example, where, following an agreement with the NMPA and the Harry Fox Agency, a huge number of compositions were effectively cleared for use under YouTube's Content ID system, meaning that users of copyrighted music could be managed legally through YouTube directly, such as by running ads on videos that feature content claim music and by providing copyright holders with rights management controls. Likewise, YouTube Shorts allow the placement of commercial tracks in short videos from the YouTube Shorts audio library. On the surface, you might assume that this is to do with the nature of the use or the shorter length of the content. However, in reality, it's because a licensing deal is in place to allow this to happen, in the form of Content ID claims behind the scenes. Alternatively, uploading videos of music already added without using the audio library is likely to trigger content claims in the normal way. But where does that leave you? Exactly how any of this affects you depends on the type of content you want to make and which platforms you want to make it on. If you want to use popular music in the background of your videos, then the built-in features of the platform you're posting to may allow you to do that in some way, and while it will be subject to the terms and conditions of the platform, it will be legal. Whereas if you want to use copyrighted works in a way that is defined under fair use, such as in a parody cover or in a transformative work, then again, the platform you're posting to should be able to give you advice on what is and isn't okay. However, in this case, where your legal defense of the use of the work is rooted in law and not in platform-specific terms and conditions, the rules may not be as clear. And if you just want to add background music to your videos, then the most effective way to do that is to use music that you know is already cleared for use. Use the link in the video description to browse our selection of cleared, royalty-free music.